This is the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, and here are 5 things we love about it and 1 thing we hate. First up, the style. I mean, take a look at this thing. It is a dramatic transformation for the previous model. In fact, this new Santa Fe compared to the old Santa Fe, about the only thing they have in common is the fact that they're called Santa Fe and you can get them as a 7-seat SUV. Everything else is different. As you can see, the front end here, it's a bigger, boxier, bolder design. Does it have elements of Land Rover Discovery in it? Yes, but I would actually say it really, in the metal, it really stands on its own 2 feet or 4 wheels, as it were. It looks fantastic. It's got real presence. You can see they've integrated this H effect, this H motif into the car. You'll see it on the front, you'll see it at the back, you'll see it in the cabin. It's just a really bold and different offering from Hyundai that really is living in its this era of real design bravery. Point number 2 that we love about the new Santa Fe is what's under the bonnet. As part of this modern trend, moving away from diesel engines in big SUVs and the consumer preference for more hybrids, well, that is what Hyundai has delivered. The new Santa Fe is launching exclusively as a hybrid, a 1.6 litre turbo with an electric motor assist in it. You can get it in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The powertrains all make the same across the various trim lines, 172 kilowatts and 367 newton meters, but the most impressive figure is 5.6 litres per 100 Ks, because that's what the fuel will use, which is a good return for what is a very large family-friendly vehicle. The third thing we love about this new Santa Fe is the design inside. It's not just the exterior where Hyundai's really pushed the boat out in terms of the look and the presentation. And I've got to say, there is just so much great stuff about the cabin of the Santa Fe. This is the calligraphy. This is the highest grade model, so it is loaded with all the goodies. You can see the H motif continues on the seats. You've got a variety of colors and trims that give it a premium feel. But even in the base model, it still has a genuine wow factor the first time you climb in, and I think that is really cool for what is essentially a mainstream family vehicle. The fourth thing we love about the new Santa Fe, staying inside, it's the practicality. After all, this is still a family-friendly SUV, and so it's got to tick those boxes. And one of the cool things, like I said, it's still a 7-seat SUV like the predecessor, but if you don't need 7 seats, if you want a bit more style and comfort in the second row, you can actually get it with a 6-seat layout with 2 captain's chairs in the center row, which is a cool, very premium type function for a mainstream family SUV. But the other thing about the cabin that I really love is the practicality, is just the thoughtfulness to the design. There's a lot of detail in terms of like useful, practical storage spaces. For example, you've got space for 2 phones in the center console here, and in this calligraphy top spec model, there's actually 2 wireless charging pads, so you can just, both you and your front seat passenger can drop their phones in and keep it charging easy as you like. Over here you've got a console box that actually opens up, and it's not just a storage area, it's actually, you can turn on a UV light that will kill germs on the surface of the whatever item you put in there. You've got a little shelf underneath there, you've got decent cup holders, you've got another shelf underneath. The center console box, it's fantastic. Okay, it opens up, normal console box, cool, big deal. Well, this actually is rear hinged as well, so people in the back can access it as well. Inside there, it's super deep because there's actually a drawer that slides in and out. So again, you can access things in the front row or the back row. And at just that level of thoughtfulness, awareness of how people are really using these cars is just a really big tick. Yes, this new Santa Fe definitely has the style, but it also has substance as a practical family SUV. The fifth and final thing we love about the new Santa Fe is how it drives. Okay, it doesn't reset any benchmarks in terms of, family-friendly SUVs, but it is a, very competent car. It rides well, even though it hasn't actually been locally tuned. That was actually a real trait of Hyundai for a number of years there, was they would do an extensive ride and handling program in Australia. They haven't done that. Instead, they are now, I guess, a bit more integrated into the global tune. And I think that's something that we, Australians can be proud of, is, well, frankly, our pretty crap roads have helped make cars around the world probably ride a bit more comfortably. And certainly that's the thing you'd say about the Santa Fe. It's a big, comfortable, family-friendly SUV. It doesn't feel like it's going to do anything uncontrollable. It doesn't feel too big or too heavy. The hybrid engine does a good job of pulling it along. So yeah, like I say, not a benchmark per se, but it is a very nice SUV to drive. As for the thing I hate about the new Santa Fe, well, that would be the near incessant amount of chimes that this thing pumps out in terms of safety, right on cue. So if you happen to go 1 kilometre above the speed limit, if you look away from the road, heck, even then I was looking at the speedo and it didn't like the fact that I was looking at speedo. If I look at the camera, if I look at the infotainment display, it'll beep at me sometimes. Like, it is just like, it's enough to drive you batty. And the problem with this is it's all well and good to have these safety systems. And I'm sure for a lot of people, always knowing exactly what the speed limit is great. Knowing that you're not going to break the law is great. I have no issue with that. But it's the way they're calibrated, the way they operate really does, frankly, drive me a bit nuts. I mean, at the end of the day, most of the time with modern Hyundais, I turn that stuff off. And at which point the safety system becomes irrelevant. So there's clearly a little bit of work to be done there, but hopefully in the future we can integrate these systems better so they do function as they're intended and serve the best purpose. So there you have it. That's 5 things we love and 1 thing we don't about the new Santa Fe. And if you want to know more about this car or any car, make sure you stay up to date with all the latest news and reviews at torquecafe.com.